Lights, camera, action.
In a studio where local filmmakers talk to other filmmakers about the inside world of film.
Cut!
That's not the script. It. We'll fix it in post. Do you wonder how films are produced and what really goes on behind the scenes? Well, stand by. Filmmakers Kevin Munfrey, Victoria V.A. Jones, and Carson Hype Ferguson explain all the details. Right here on It, We Will Fix It in Post podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you're listening, I thank you for doing so. I am Kevin Munfrey, and this is once again We'll Fix It in Post. Today, we're talking to the two stars of the web series Jade and Jaded, Sarah FRANCO and Jade ZAROFF. How are you two doing today?
Doing well, thanks.
Fantabulous.
So I always like to ask, where did your love of the arts begin?
Oh, wow. Jade, you go first.
Oh, because my last name is Z. You're putting me first.
No, because I've heard you answer this question before, and I love your answer.
Oh my gosh, I don't remember what my answer is. Damn it. Okay, pressure's on. I think where I fell in love with the arts is my great uncle is a playwright. He wrote Cabaret the musical and She Loves Me. So when I was younger, I always had just this family, this shared family love for theater, and theater was the first love of my life. And then I spent my entire childhood pretty much singing for old people, so in Boca Raton, Florida. And I think just my, but in a very real way, my experience of performing classical musical theater to that generation that grew up with that music was just a really profound and beautiful part of my journey in just having a deep appreciation for what art does for people and the joy that it brings people. And, Wizard of Oz is my favorite musical growing up. So Somewhere Over the Rainbow is my happy place. And I just found so much understanding of myself in the arts growing up.
So Sarah, good luck following that.
Well, I just feel very lucky to have been raised with or by parents who immersed me in the arts from an early age. And even when I was off doing things that weren't necessarily arts related, like, let's say, just going to summer camp, I would find a way to find the arts, whether it was I would find a couple friends and let's write a movie together. Or I went to this summer camp that had a play every summer. And I think I was 10 or 11 when I was cast in the one night only double cast production of Annie as Act 2 Miss Hannigan.
Oh.
So yeah, the whole cast changed halfway through the show. And in the first scene that I was in, I had this moment where I got to walk off stage, audibly throw a fit, and then just return as if nothing had happened. And I will never forget the feeling of getting that laugh. When I got that laugh from the audience, I was like, all right, I'm in. I am in forever. And I have been trying to make people laugh ever since.
Okay, so you're both, I guess you was self-described theater kids.
We met in college in a musical theater program.
Okay, so now what is it that you all love about musicals? So me, when I go to a musical, I always have somewhat of a disconnect. I'm so focused on the singing that I end up forgetting, not knowing what the story's about. Or if I don't like the singing, I'm probably paying attention to the acting.
I find people have a stark reaction in either direction. I don't feel like there are many people who are on the fence about musicals. They either love them or hate them. And I just find musical theater to be so magical. It's, they do burst into song, but it's part of the magic. It's not supposed to be realistic. You know, that's just part of this. All musicals exist in a realm of magical realism, and I think that is so fun.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I think that I agree with Sarah of just musicals kind of allow a healthy escape. We're all kind of looking for this opportunity to not sometimes deal with the things that are harder to understand and like the complexities of life. And musicals add this element of like animation to those complexities that I can appreciate. Where I then like can understand and appreciate the hardship and the pain that comes with life, but it can be singing can be a healthy release of it.
So, what was the first play you two have individually have done?
Oh, I took an acting class when I was 7, and we wrote our own play about two families that switched places at Christmas.
Oh, so that's interesting.
That is the first play I ever did, was in some
That's a movie premise.
apartment. I guess, yeah. Let me like dig it up. The script probably handwritten on paper in like someone's apartment in the West Village.
So, Jade, how about you?
My first play that I was ever in, oh my goodness. What was it? I like don't know. It must have been something in my living room.
Classic.
That sounds like the classic star.
Yeah, like honestly, I mean, maybe it was my 5th grade musical like show thing where they thought that they were doing a show, but it was like written by a teacher after school the day of the show. Like I actually don't know what it was.
Now, do you remember like in your first performance, like were you all kind of nervous, or was it a kind of a natural for you all?
I think I felt nervous until I stepped onto the stage, which I find to be true to this day.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that I am always really nervous leading up to it because you're not distracted by just doing it. And then once, at least for me, I get on stage, it's like, let's do this. Let's fully commit.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this is the thing that I do.
Yeah.
So, because you would think people would be nervous when they get on stage, but you all say y'all been nervous before. So what is it about everything before that kind of brings on that nervousness?
For me, it's worry. Like, I think just like I said, like the lack of distraction, because when you're on stage, it's like, it's not necessarily about you anymore as much as like you being part of something that's a whole. And so when you're alone with your thoughts, it's easy to be like, how am I going to mess this up? Am I going to forget the words? Am I going to do this wrong? And then once you're on stage, it's like someone needs you to give them a line. And if you don't know the line, that's fine, but give them something because they're waiting for you.
Now, have y'all had that situation where you just kind of mid-performance and forget that next line?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So how do y'all bridge out of that without making it noticeably or incredibly awkward?
I've been told multiple times in my theatrical history that I am very good on my toes, meaning you just figure something out. Part of rehearsing a play is how do you incorporate that reality? I think acting is truthful living under imaginary circumstances. So if you're in that character, you're in that scene, and the routine part of your brain craps out, and you say, what do I do? What would the character do? Look around. You know your surroundings. We've been rehearsing this show. What's up next? If I don't have my mug that I'm supposed to be holding, is there a book on the coffee table I can flip through? If I forget a line, can I make eye contact with my scene partner in a way that they understand and can cover for me?
Oh, so it's a lot of I guess like movement communication,
Yeah, definitely.
nonverbal communication. I have to be now. Do you
Jade said,
do you look when you're like in like well not in the audience but when you perform? Do you look like maybe at like the wall or like a certain focal point? Or like if you're doing like a monologue, or do you all actually look at the audience?
there's that musical theater cliche of pick a spot on the wall. But I think that's more for the purpose of rehearsal. And once you're in it, the spot on the wall is ideally who you're talking to or how you're getting your objective. And maybe it started as a spot on the wall, but it has evolved into something more using your imagination.
So like
Yeah.
look like because I would think you'll be looking at people and you may catch somebody who makes a weird face or like looking at their phone and it wouldn't like necessarily like kind of throw you off a bit.
In
I
a
mean, hey,
rehearsal, just in general, like will things like that
Oh no,
throw
just in
you?
general. Because I mean, people make weird faces and don't even know they're making them.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I've never experienced a time in which I've been on stage and like laughed at something that had nothing to do with what was happening within the show because of just life and like being human. And I think that
yeah.
obviously the objective and the goal is to not break character, quote unquote. But it would be, I think, impossible to never have a time in which you're like fully not like yourself. Um, but I think that the more you can like integrate whatever you're experiencing into what your character is doing on stage, then it's fine, you know? Like if you can make it about the character and like improv your way through it a little bit, like yes anding what's happening, but in character. So if you're laughing at something that like of a face that someone is making, how can it have something to do with like what's happening in the world you've created on stage?
And what do you do, Sarah?
What do I do? In that situation, generally I will just like click into work mode and be like, all right, that was weird, but I'm doing my job right now. So let me just finish what I'm doing. And then I will go off stage and to the next person I see, be like, did you see that dude that is literally like eating a chili dog in the third row? Just get the job done, finish your song, and y'all can bitch about it afterwards.
So you're very good at compartmentalizing.
Oh, yeah.
And see.
Yeah, literally, I'm like, do I owe you a copay? Yes, I'm dreadfully good at compartmentalizing.
Oh well, you definitely emphasize that.
All right, it's been fun.
So, so do you
That's
think?
a great skill set, Sarah. I'm not good at that.
I know a lot of business people who are really good at that as well. So,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes you just gotta get the job done.
so do you think theater makes but like good as far as ad libbing? Does theater kind of help with that muscle a bit?
I think so.
Like it just like forces you to kind of work that muscle a bit.
I
Wait,
think that
does being a theater kid, was that the question? Being a theater kid help?
Does that help with ad libbing? Just thinking on the spot.
Yeah. I thought you
I
said
think that
compartmentalizing. I was like, Sarah, take it away.
there's so much that can go wrong when you specifically specialize in live performance. That yeah, how could you not get good at ad libbing?
Mm-hmm.
Survival skill.
Jade, are you more of a just in your day to day life? Are you more of a planner?
Yeah, I'm a planner that writes in pencil. I always say my planner is my favorite thing in the world so I can stay on top of what I need to get done, but it's never permanent because I can erase it whatever I want.
That's great, but do you actually have a pencil?
Yeah, I have a planner with a pencil.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
because I haven't seen one in years.
Oh yeah, no, I like fully everybody in my life. My mom's like,
Oh
can you
wait,
put it
that's
in?
not. Oh, that's the old school pencil, not the mechanical one.
Oh, and this actually, with this one in particular, says Sarah Franco, third grade, do not touch.
Wait, that's so
Oh
cute.
my! You should get
Yeah.
that. You should get that framed somewhere.
Right? No, for now it just hangs out with my other pens and pencils on my desk, so I can do the rubber pencil thing that we all used to do in elementary school.
Oh no,
No.
no. We played a game where we were breaking pencils. Actually,
Oh, that's different.
yeah. We probably play way different game of pencils than you all have. So, how
Yeah.
did you two like kind of elaborate on how you two met?
Legally blonde. Sarah, that's not even the song. Sarah, you just do it.
Oh my gosh. So we were in the same BFA program at Emerson College, and the program started pretty large. So we didn't really see each other much until we were both cast in a graduate project condensed version of the musical Legally Blonde. I think that was the first time we ever collaborated on anything together. And then we didn't see each other much. Jade kind of forged her own path, got part of her degree in it's business and entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah, an entrepreneurship minor. Yeah.
And graduated a year early. So she was like off living her best businesswoman life. And we reconnected after we both graduated and we're living in New York.
Oh, love. Now, I've never been to New York, so I kind of like to get people's idea. Like, how is New York?
How's New York? I
'Cause
am a born and raised New Yorker. And it is. How's New York?
is it as
it's
fast paced as people say?
yes, it is mean and it's magical, and I think those two words sum it up. It can be mean, but it's made of pure magic.
Yeah, it's like kind of like having a toddler. Not that I've ever had one, but like it's like you love them so much and they're so freaking just like lovable and cute in ways. But sometimes you just want to like not have it be what it is.
I love that.
These
Yeah.
are very poetic descriptions, by the way.
Very different, yeah.
Yes, I like talking to New Yorkers about New York because y'all talk about it in a way that I've never heard anyone else talk about anywhere else. And
What's the comparison?
so the first person I remember telling me, it's like New York is like the world and fast forward. Like you kind of have to adjust. And so I always like to ask this question with New Yorkers. So if you're just walking somewhere and someone makes eye contact with you, what do you do?
I feel like there's a lot of different kinds of eye contact that you can make on the street in New York, and it depends on what kind it is. But generally, if you're going on the offense, kind of give them a sneer back and speed up. If they're giving you like a how you doing, give them back a little how you doing and log that in your brain. You're never going to see that person again, but what an excellent ego boost for your day. Or every once in a while, you actually recognize one of your neighbors and then you give them a little, oh, hi, how's your morning going? And feel incredibly quaint like you were the main character of a rom-com.
So Jade, how about you?
I think that like, yeah, when I walk by someone and we're making eye contact, I mean, I'm definitely like a smiling one. Like I definitely am someone who will walk by someone and like smile. Because usually what happens is, okay, here's a Jade tangent for you for like 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
usually our New York is really good at like fueling or destroying a human being's ego. Like one day you're just like, I'm the king of New York. And then sometimes it's like, I hate everything about my life kind of walks. So it's like, if I don't let my ego look the person in the eye, then I'm like, oh my gosh, hi, another human. I'm going to smile at you. If my ego is like fully like existing and controlling me in a moment, then there might be nothing like numbness.
A world in which doesn't give a smile. I don't know if I've ever
like not even like no smile, just like full blown numbness. Like I've just like numbed out. Like it depends, like if
leave your body.
I'm gone.
These are two of the nicest answers I've heard about this, because usually I hear that it's usually an altercation.
So could be. Ooh. I mean, but how many women have you spoken to about this?
3. Now, mostly been guys. Now, all three of them say it's an altercation. Yeah, they go into fight or flight mode. And I'm like, here, it happened. Now, Tennessee's a lot more relaxed, a little more laid back. So, not as many people. I mean, we're getting to that point because y'all are coming here. But
yeah,
usually it's you just kind of will do like a head nod or how you doing. They say something, they don't. As long as they don't like step on your shoe or nothing.
Sure.
And people got guns here a lot, so you tend to get on the careful side. Yeah. I would say when you're in Tennessee, assume everyone has a gun.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, New Yorkers like don't, but but New Yorkers like to go like the guns are in my eyes, so like I don't need anything.
I don't know. That sounds like a really good pickup line. Yeah, I think if you say it right.
People are like people are just like it's very animalistic in New York, I find.
Yeah, I agree.
Now I've heard that too. Now I've had a family member that he went to New York for college, and 6 months he came back, and it's just his chest is all out. He projects his voice, it just. I'm like, what did New York do to you? He said, look, you talk or die, man. That's all I can tell you.
Talk or die. I want that in needlepoint. I want to hang that in my bathroom. I love it.
And I mean, he was a very shy person, and it only took 6 months.
Good for him.
I had another friend move there. 6 months, he moved away. He's like,
I was just gonna say that goes one of two ways.
Yeah, I've known someone who went both ways. So I'm like, I'd want to visit, just because sometimes I kind of like the people watch. Yeah, I heard like New York is like the greatest place on earth to do that.
Oh yeah,
and the scenery, and it's just unlike anywhere else. I don't know if I'd ever want to live there.
New York City is not for everyone, and that's fine. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. And I know several people who moved to New York because they were like, it's what I have to do. And they hate it here and they're miserable. And then eventually they move home. I think what people need to understand is that, 1, you don't need to live in New York. And 2, if you choose to live in New York, you're never going to win New Yorking. I know several people who have said the phrase, oh, I am beating New York right now. Like, I'm doing it. Like, that is so unhealthy and not how it works. And sure enough, they moved away.
So how competitive is New York?
Depends on the field. I mean, if you are in musical theater, people are lining up on 8th Avenue at 5 o'clock in the morning to get seen at an audition. Yup.
Oh.
So for actors, it's incredibly competitive. But then, I don't know. I know a lot of people who work in finance in New York who have a very comfortable life and a great friend group and are just vibing. So I think it comes down to the industry, especially because you can find almost any industry in New York.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's definitely something that exists wherever you go. Like there's always gonna be some form of competition, but there's just more people, and like Sarah said, depending on the industry, it depends how it's just dependent on how many people are trying to do that industry, be integrated into that industry.
And as far as like non-work related competition goes, you're going to be happier if you don't treat it like a competition. Like if someone applies for that apartment before you, you are not going to beat them out. You know, there's just no use in getting upset about it. There's so much here in every way to offer. So like, it's not a competition. Just
It's
go
like
find the next
an
thing.
embarrassment of riches of everything there.
Absolutely. Yes.
So what do you all do to relax in New York?
I love a themed bar, like an arcade bar, or like a retro bar. I have some wonderful friends. Again, I grew up here, so I have some friends I've had for 13, 15 years that, hey, want to go to, I've been meaning to go to this place, Joy Face, in the East Village, which is like a disco-themed 70s vibe bar. Let's go here. Let's grab a drink. Let's get a piece of pizza. Let's see a movie. Just enjoying the city for what it is. I love to walk to the river. That's one of my favorite parts about living on an island, is just being able to walk to your nearest river and just sit by the water. I like doing that to relax.
So Jade, how do you relax?
Blasting Mamma Mia and like being on the street with my AirPods in and having people like kind of make eye contact with me and me just be like, oh, this is my city now. Sorry. We're just gonna pretend that I'm on a stage. I just really do love walking everywhere, anywhere. Like it doesn't, I very much appreciate the fact that, and it is relaxing in a very weird way where I'll walk down the same street 100 times and see a new place. And just the like excitement of that keeps me present. I think like anything, relaxation for me is anything that will like really kick me into the present moment, and New York can really do that for you if you allow yourself to do that. So if like you're walking around New York City on your phone, obviously you're walking around New York City on your phone, but if you're walking around New York City and you're just like walking around to walk with sometimes no destination, that's the final answer. Walking around New York City with no destination is a great way for me to like.
I'm so jealous. I cannot walk without a destination.
Yeah, I'd like to walk and jog a lot too, but I probably got, if I'm going with no destination, I've got some earphones in my ear. I've got like a whole playlist going, and I've probably walked and ran maybe 12 miles for no reason.
Yeah.
So I just consider it an exercise. It's like, oh, I don't know how I got here. Now I got to find my way back home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So there's
biking people don't, it like stresses people out to bike around New York City, and that relaxes me too. I feel like adventurous.
So the stress here is the scooters. Yeah, so those kind of, like when they first came, like they just kind of came out of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
Like, did they just drop them in y'all city too?
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine got hit by a car on a scooter recently. He's okay now, but it's scary stuff. I mean, the city is already not safe for, like, unless you know what you're doing, for cyclists. Like, I'm not an experienced cycler, so I try to avoid that because I'm afraid of getting hit by a car or hitting a pedestrian. It's so saturated.
I've just never heard the term experienced bicyclist and it not be referring to like the Olympics or nothing. That says a lot. That says a lot.
It's like I'm giving city bikers too much credit.
Because here, like we've had a situation where someone was on a scooter hit by a car. Another
Yeah.
one where things people really got upset. There was like a video, and this guy had like his child on his shoulders, but on the scooter, and he's
Oof.
driving like past a bridge area. So again, luckily Nashville isn't as saturated, at least not yet,
Mm.
as New York. But if it was, I mean, some crazy driver could have bumped into him. Could have been really bad. And then we have a lot of truck drivers that come through here. So a lot of ways this could have ended horribly. But yeah,
Mm.
scooters is one of those. And we have like certain neighborhoods here that wasn't built for the population it currently has.
Sure.
So we don't even, so there'll be certain places that don't have sidewalks. So I'm pretty sure you'll hear a lot of Nashville news within the next couple of years.
I'm sure I will, yeah.
Because we've got more people than we planned on having. Actually, I'm not even originally from here, so I'm probably one of the problems myself. But so, how did you all go from stage to film?
For me, I picked up comedy writing and performance as part of my degree in college and got really into the TV world, which I've always been a connoisseur of, but had never considered joining as an industry. And then, fast forward to post grad, and Jade put out a feeler on Facebook asking for a New York City based female comedy writer. And I said, hello, here I am. And the rest is that was my first postgraduate dive into being a screenwriter. Jade, how about yourself?
I was just curious, honestly. I think that like I always have been a curious person, and I've always just liked the idea of like bouncing around career-wise in terms of just trying different things on and figuring out. And I think it's similar to dating of you don't know what you want unless you like know what you don't want. So I think for film with me, I didn't really have any expectation or need for like a specific awareness as to whether or not I like loved it or hated it. I just was like, I'm just gonna do it because it's something that I've never done. And I took one film class in school and liked it enough to like do it. And producing is something that I'm really passionate about. So the project itself was what drove me. And then film became the medium to communicate the message.
Now, doing theater, does it make doing film make it easier for the transition, or it makes you more comfortable?
I find from an acting standpoint, it is very difficult to go from theater to film because especially so many kids are introduced to the arts through their school's theater program, and they are taught to cheat out to the audience, meaning you don't have your back to the audience, and taught to project to the back of the house because public school 58 doesn't have a mic system, but then you're on a film set, the camera is like right in front of you and you are wearing a lav, and you can't like scream into the mic, so you need to just totally downsize your whole performance and the way that you have learned your craft. That being said, there's a lot that's really fun about camera acting that you can't do on stage. So in that way, I find it's more difficult to make that transition.
How about you, Jay?
Yeah, I think Sarah kind of nailed it. I mean, like I'm a very animated and expressive person, and I'm grateful for the fact that this specific project was a little bit more flexible in like engaging with that animated side of myself, like because it's comedic and because it's youthful, like we were able to have a little bit more expression in the way we delivered what we were saying. But whereas like with something different than what we were doing, perhaps you would have to like downsize that expression just a little bit. Sarah could probably speak to that a little bit more from just a writing perspective, but I think that as an actor in the piece, I just experienced more freedom to like engage with my theatrical side. But it definitely, theater training helps with the fundamentals, but it's bigger. You have to play to the mezzanine.
It definitely lends itself more to comedy than it does to drama, you know. Part of what makes Meryl Streep so brilliant is her little mannerisms that are just caught on camera. But we weren't writing the next great American drama, you know. We were writing a silly buddy comedy about two girls who are mediocre at using the internet. We were following a very different, like Jade said, just a very different kind of format that allowed for animated faces and theatricality. I got a couple funny comments both while we were making Jade and Jaded and while I was kind of testing it on some friends. I showed an episode to a friend of mine who has a degree in classical acting, like a master's in classical text acting, like Shakespeare. And she was like dissecting the acting choices and being very scholarly about it. And was like, oh, I see that you're lending yourself more to a comedic commedia style of acting. I was like, dude, it was a pee joke. You're going too deep. Yeah, I mean, oh, and then the other moment I thought of was when we were filming an episode with one of our guest actors who was doing the same thing, and he's brilliant and he's talented. And he was playing the scene very, very much in realism. And this is my dear friend Mark Ashen. And I was like, Mark, darling, play it up a little. And Jade, I don't know if you remember this. There was one take where it just clicked for him. And I like screamed when we cut. I was like, you got it. He goes, oh, so you just want me to be a cartoon character? And I said, if that's the way you think of it, yes, give me Tom and Jerry, darling. Give me Looney Tunes. Let's just go for it. Adults are afraid of being silly. Like, in that way, being a theater kid helps if you're trying to perform comedy, if you're afraid of being silly.
So, where did what brought the idea on for Jade and Jaded?
Well, Jade and I had a meeting in November 2017 where she was floating the idea of a YouTube channel targeted around making sustainability funny and approachable for teens. I was actually thinking about this morning. I drafted several sketches, like assuming that this was going to be a channel of all kinds of different content. And I wrote some like SNL style sketch comedy around sustainability. And one of the sketches I wrote was about two millennial friends, two women who I believe were named Sam and Mandy, because I'm currently writing a pilot in which the women are named Sam and Mandy. I literally made that connection this morning. I was like, oh my God, that's from the first draft of Jade and Jaded. And it was the sketch about these girls who were making a cooking video for YouTube, how they were going to make organic vegan cookies. And the one character is very in the know about all of this, and the other character is totally clueless. So the other character bought all the wrong ingredients, so they had to go to Whole Foods to get the right ingredients, and then they meet a hot Whole Foods employee and get completely distracted. And I believe I sent the 3 sketches to you, Jade, and you liked that one. It was that and do you remember I had a man on the street idea? It was about someone like protesting in front of a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Like completely just not knowing what they were talking about.
Yeah, I thought it had something to do with, then he ended up being the person I went on a date with or something. But there was like, after the fact, we like or no, that was someone working at a Whole Foods. Never mind.
Yeah. But anyway, that's just kind of the idea we chose to develop, and the rest is history.
Yeah, and just from like my my desire to which I'm so appreciative of that we ended up connecting, because Sarah really brought it to life in such a clear and, as she said, approachable way. I was just nannying someone who was 13 years old and obsessed with vlogs, and she was just watching vlog after vlog after vlog, and I was just watching her absorb all this information that I didn't feel was actually good for her. It wasn't providing any positive reinforcement. It wasn't giving her any tools to help her mental health, and it wasn't allowing for her to see the sustainable options for a lot of the choices she was making. So it was just kind of like, how do you get a young person to really gravitate towards things that are important, honestly? And like, no, there's no perfect version of changing the world or making the world a better place. But I think if the next generation, if there's light shed on like some of the choices you can make that are just like a little bit better for the environment or a little bit better for your health, then we're moving in a different direction. And so the way to communicate that effectively was like, let's make it something that you can laugh at and kind of look at in a way that then you go, oh, that kind of makes sense. Because nobody wants to be preached at, especially kids and teens. So, and us, like, I mean, when people like are trying to get me to understand something versus just like passionately sharing the information. And as I said before, like Sarah and Kendall, like they both did such an incredible job, like making it something that the characters of Sarah and Jade were passionate about. So instead of it, or Sarah, resisting a little bit more than Jade, but being her best friend, she was like, okay, I'll go along for the ride. And so it wasn't about Sarah and Jade trying to get people to go green as much as it was just like watching Sarah and Jade figure out how to like share their passion in a way that, which is what we were doing in real time. So it was cool.
So why did you all choose to make it a mini series rather than, I say, a short film or even a feature film?
For two reasons. One, frankly, because we've been in, like, from first meeting to now, it's been almost 4 years. So we've gone through a lot of trends and changes. And at the time of pre-pro for this iteration of Jade and Jaded, Quibi was on the rise. We were talking about Quibi.
Oh.
Yep, which we now know didn't really pan out.
No.
But I was
it did not.
following that general format. Also because if we want to get the attention of young people, are you going to sit someone down for 22 minutes? Even adults, like, we're all filmmakers here. How many times is your friend going to get you to watch their indie project? It is way easier to get someone to watch a 5-minute video than to get them to watch a 30-minute video.
So, like, the writing process, fathers, how long it took you all to write this?
Ooh, that is an excellent question. Wow. How long did it take us? I feel like me and Kendall, Kendall's my co-writer, we would take like, I don't know, maybe a week or two per episode, sending it back and forth, from outline to first draft to punch up, and then scheduling our shoot. Yeah, I'd say like a week or two, given that we also have like other jobs and lives and live on opposite coasts.
So at what point did y'all kind of like know, like, okay, we're as far as the writing process is concerned, like, okay, this is it, this will work?
Well, we went through one iteration of Jade and Jaded in 2018, and once we basically got those dailies back, I knew this was not it. And we took probably like a 6-month break and came back to it, at which point I approached Kendall, who was a really close friend of mine from high school. And when we finally got on the phone, the way she was talking me through the evolution of these two characters and their friendships and their motivations is when it started to click. In the first iteration, the inciting incident of the series was, I'm realizing how many times I'm bringing up Whole Foods. Like, dude.
I'm actually going there after this, actually. So
amazing. So Whole Foods, sponsor this podcast. The inciting incident before was Whole Foods following their YouTube channel. That just at the time felt right to me. And I was brainstorming with Kendall, and she said, well, why does the YouTube channel already exist? Like, shouldn't the inciting incident be deciding to make a YouTube channel? And why do they decide to make one? Like, why aren't they doing other things? And that's how we decided that they would be banned from every single venue in New York City. And that is the inciting incident of Jade and Jaded. Jade and Sarah are banned from the last performance venue in the whole city, and they have to figure out what's next.
now, where did y'all get this globe costume that Jade had on throughout?
Jade.
Where did that come from?
Oh, well, one day in college, I was doing some shopping online, and I just found the second love of my life, theater being the first and this costume being my second. Honestly, I really would say that the show revolved around the costume,
No.
I'm kidding. That was like a bad joke. That's why Sarah's the writer, because that was like a bad joke about revolving around the world, but no, I don't think it landed. I found it in college. I don't remember exactly where, and yes, I do have two of them, but I think that I was doing this event that celebrated Earth Day, found that the costume really exemplified that spirit as a mascot, and that's where that costume came from.
And then just for our show, it's an immaculate visual gag.
100%.
It does capture your attention. Absolutely.
She's wearing the globe in the first shot of the show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Actually, in the whole first episode, she's wearing it, actually. But the first time you see Jade, she is walking out of an unassuming bar next to a Subway sandwich shop in a globe costume.
It makes it hard not to notice.
Yep.
You kind of go, what's going on here? Now, y'all releasing it not, I guess, through a film festival circuit, or y'all mostly releasing it through YouTube. So why through that medium?
Because we did the festival circuit, and we were lucky enough to really have thrived through that. We met a lot of people, sat down with some potential distribution deals, and we are a team that always operates off of what feels right, and a mutual agreement, a mutual what is the word I'm looking for? Just a unanimous decision. And we did not meet with a company that we felt right with, honestly. Hopefully one day there will be a perfect platform that is all, sustainable, eco-friendly content, and also has a big audience, and you don't need to pay to watch it, et cetera, et cetera. But we didn't find that, and we kept shopping it, but ultimately said, what's our goal here? We want people to see what we made, obviously, but also get the message. So let's just put it out.
Yeah, and there's more control of it. I mean, I think what's really cool is we actually are releasing it with in the spirit of what Sarah's saying, alongside a conference called Sustainable Brands. And it's a conference that I'm attending next week in San Diego. And it's essentially a program that you're hearing from purpose-driven visionaries of like the world's leading sustainable brands who are focused on creating a positive impact, utilizing business as the vehicle to do so. And we utilized a lot of conscious consumerism in the show itself, where Jade and Jaded is an example of using entertainment as the vehicle to communicate a lot of these messages. And so that combination of business and entertainment is really powerful. And then distributing it on YouTube in a more public, because sustainable brands, they're playing all of the episodes on all of the hotel TVs for attendees next week, which is cool. I'll get some content of like playing on a TV. But with YouTube, there's freedom. Like for the rest of our lives, anyone can go on YouTube and watch Jade and Jaded. And we have control over sharing something that we put so much love and passion into. I mean, Sarah and I really, as Sarah said, sat down in 2017. It's now 2021. We're like, let's get our baby walking. And I think that YouTube just allows us to like share from a place of love. And if that evolves into a different distribution tactic down the road with someone who resonates with it and aligns to what we're trying to share messaging wise, then great. But I think that YouTube exists for a reason, so let's utilize that platform.
Exactly. We're not counting anybody out. We're, if anything, putting our product out there to attract an audience.
So now, why is it important for you to own like your product, your show?
We touch about this. We touch on this a little in the show itself. The topic of creating art as activism, creating art outside of the lens of the corporate agenda and capitalism. And it felt very hypocritical of us to then, I don't know, sell it to someone who doesn't have those interests in mind. And then what does it become? Jade and Jaded, sponsored by Poland Spring. You know, like Jade and Jaded, sponsored by Nestle, Nabisco. You know, companies that are at the core of the problem.
Okay, so Jade, I wanted to ask you before we wrap up. You have a nonprofit that focus on that. Yeah, yes. Talk about that, please.
Yeah, thanks. It's called Entertainment for Change, and it basically, which is what I love the most about Jade and Jaded, is inspiring the next generation to use their art for positive change in the world, and collaborate and bring ideas and projects to life that activate creativity to communicate the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, which include goals like reduced inequalities, climate action, no poverty, life on land, life below water, sustainable cities and communities, all of these things that we kind of talk about all of the time, gender equality, but it provides a unified framework for what we're working on globally. And so Jade and Jaded falls obviously under climate action and just allows for, and then the nonprofit is a community of what we call impact artists. So an impact artist is someone who purposely integrates one of the Sustainable Development Goals and intentionally integrates that into their work. And so Jade and Jaded is like my way of stepping into that so that I can, as cheesy as it is, really be that change that I wish to see in the world.
Yeah, lead by example.
Yeah, I mean, totally, Sarah. Like my mom always taught me that, like lead by example. And I think the nonprofit is like my way of really doing what I love for young people because I love kids and teens. But Jade and Jaded is like I'm still an artist too. So I want to, exemplify that.
Well, congratulations for doing that. Now, did you all film this before or during the pandemic?
Before. We filmed between March and July of 2019.
Oh, so right in the nick of time.
Oh, absolutely. We had one of our final editing meetings oh gosh, I want to say December 2019, and then our editor backpacked through Southeast Asia. And by the time he was done, I think a week later, the world shut down.
We call that here clutch. That is quite clutch.
The timing was clutch. Yep.
So before we wrap this up, we like to ask people to kind of pretend as if with this project that you two all won an Oscar. So what would be you all's Oscar speech?
Whoa, what an interesting question, Kevin.
That's what I'm here for.
Sarah.
I would probably say something like, go make your project. Like, go do it. Pick up the phone right now. Start writing your screenplay. Start storyboarding your next project. And we can all be the change we want to see in the world.
Jay, what about you?
I love that. I love Sarah. Do what you love. Live to love. Like, live your life. Yeah, I like similarly but different. Just like do things from a place of love, and you're never doing it wrong. You know, it's this project, regardless of anything and everything, like no matter the journey we go on, from looking back or looking forward, it's like we did it out of love, and we're still doing it out of love. So Jade and Jaded was birthed from love, and I think it's just if I can share that with anybody listening out there, just pursue what you love. Yeah.
Well, ladies, thank you for taking time out to speak with me today.
Thank you.
You all have given out some quotes today. Y'all are poets with your all's words.
I'm honored.
Thank you so much. We prepped the entire. No, we improv the whole thing.
Yeah, it was scripted word for word. We knew what you were going to say too.
Well, this has been F It. We will fix it in post, and that is a wrap.